All right, good evening. Welcome to the March 4th, 2026 Gualala Municipal Advisory Council regular meeting. Call meeting to order at 6 o'clock. Our secretary will note the attendance. Or do you want to do it?
Let's just do it. Councilmember Everett.
Here.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank
Welcome
you.
again.
Thank you.
Councilmember
Oh,
Lewis.
that's right, she's official.
Good. Chair Evans.
Here.
Councilmember Mayor.
Here.
Councilmember Hayward.
Here.
Vice Chair Youngling.
Here.
And Dave Schbach, Secretary. And I did not receive correspondence from Councilmember Finley.
Okay, we'll note that she is not in attendance tonight. Thank you for that. Moving on to item number 2, approval of the agenda. I do know that we have a few additions.
Would you like me to cover them?
Sure.
Okay. So a couple pieces of correspondence added after the agenda was posted. Also, we got wind of a second referral for CDP modification for Beerenson. So I'm suggesting that we put it on the agenda for assignment so that it can come back on the 1st of April. And then we also got a late email from Director Krogh regarding the GMAC referral fee. I'd like to add that to the treasurer item if it's okay with you. And this is we'll brief essentially and accept.
Okay, so I don't have that.
No, it just came, so.
Okay.
Actually, I think you received a carbon copy of the distribution from Kevin. At any rate,
Anyway.
this may be a refresher
Okay.
or not. But with those are the 3 general adjustments. Hopefully.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
I will move to approve the agenda as amended.
All right, motion by Councilmember Mayor. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilmember Hayward. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Carried. Also, I as part of our introductions, Councilmember Everett is now official. So she has all the rights and privileges of being a GMAC member, so congratulations.
Don't spend them all at one time.
Yeah, don't spend them all money.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 3, approval of the minutes from February 11th, 2026. All of you should have received them. Any comments, questions? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve.
I'll move to approve the minutes.
All right, we have a motion by Councilmember Mayor. Do we have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Councilmember Lewis. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Carried.
Okay.
Okay, item number 4 is correspondence with the 2 additions that Councilmember Schbach added to the list. Are there any questions on that from anyone? All these items are received and filed. Okay, everybody got them? Excellent.
Yes.
Okay, now on to the important business. Item number 5, Mendocino County Sheriff report.
Good evening. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
So February was 28 days, so we have a little bit fewer calls for service. We only had 26 calls for service for the month. There were 202 on the South Coast total. There were 2 court order violations, 1 reported trespass, 1 reported threats, 1 special event, 2 security checks, 1 missing person, 1 lost property, 2 investigations, 1 hazard, it was a tree across the road. Harassment was 1 fraud reported, 1 found property, 1 domestic dispute, 3 civil disputes, 1 burglary, 1 outside agency assist, and 5 911s.
What would constitute a special event?
It was the medication take back at the Mendocino Health. So they send some employees down from the sheriff's office, and they stay there to take in prescription medications for folks to get them destroyed.
Oh, what a great service. Excellent. Anybody have a question for our resident deputy McNally? None?
No, sir.
Lieutenant Lee,
Sir.
would you like to share what's going on in the bigger picture?
Good evening, everyone. I don't have a whole lot to share. I will say that in regards to the drug take back, there will be another one in May. So, you know, folks in the community, it's an opportunity for them to dispose of unused medications and stuff. So, I just got an email today that they'll be organizing another one in May with Magdalena. So, we typically send our community service officers down to assist with that kind of stuff because they come out of mostly Ukiah. So they can take all that back to our evidence facility where we take it in and have it destroyed when we destroy a bunch of other items. So everything seems to be going well right now on the coast. We're slowly getting our staffing back. I've got a couple of new deputies that are locals in the Mendocino, Fort Bragg area, so that's good news
Nice.
For us.
Yeah.
Those are my favorites, to be honest, because those individuals know the area, they know the people, they know a lot of. Some of them worked. Actually, the two guys that I have right now have both worked in, you know, trades jobs, so they've been out in the public doing construction and tree trimming and things like that. So they get around up and down the coast, and so they know the area, and they know some folks up and down the coast, which is very beneficial, especially for law enforcement. So, so we're getting there. There seems to be light at the end of the tunnel. It's been kind of a dry run with recruitment and retention. Retention is probably one of our biggest challenges. So we're hoping to hang on to these folks. I think they're going to stick around because they live here, they have homes here, and they don't have big intentions of going to greener pastures.
Oh,
so
good.
that's always a big benefit for us. Sheriff Kendall couldn't be present tonight, so he had to, I guess they've scheduled the Covelo MAC meeting like the same time.
Same
So-
thing happened last year.
Yeah.
So he and I, you know, kind of drew straws, and he's attending that meeting this evening. So, but I'm always happy to be here, and I hope you all find it beneficial for me to check in once in a while. I try to zoom in when I can't be here, but I did promise. I remember last year that I would try to get here at least every other month in physical form. So. If anyone has any questions for me about what's going on or what's up with the sheriff's office right now, I'm happy to address those.
What's your sphere of influence? And I guess the reason I'm asking, do you deal with the Anderson Valley?
No, sir. Anderson Valley actually falls under what we call central sector out of Ukiah. So that's one of their further outreaching areas. They cover like Hopland and Boonville areas. We only go up about 5 miles or so on 128.
Okay.
The line kind of jumps around a lot, but yeah, we try to get through there once in a while if we can to help them out because it's kind of a remote area for the Ukiah deputies because that keeps them pretty busy over there around the city of Ukiah and such. So
Yeah, I heard they got a new. Your office got a new deputy who lives in Navarro. And I thought, I wonder if you could steal him. Not that I would encourage that, but.
I'm trying to think. I think you may be referring to John Magnan. He's in the court security division.
Oh, okay.
And he actually lives in Elk.
Oh, in Elk.
Yeah.
Oh, even.
So I don't think there's any other deputies or anyone that lives south of Fort Bragg.
Okay.
For the most part, but yeah, he lives in Elk.
Oh, nice.
So
Okay.
but he's actually commuting over to Ukiah and such because of the courts over there. So.
Oh, boy.
Oh my gosh.
But I have on the coast out of Fort Bragg, I have 4 deputies right now that commute from Redwood Valley, Ukiah, and Willits. So it's just kind of the way it works out.
Wow.
You know, when they're new off of training, Sometimes they're assigned to specific sectors to help the staffing levels come up. And after they've completed their year of probation, they can typically request a transfer if they so choose. But fortunately, I've been lucky to have, most of them want to stay.
Yeah.
Even some of them that have been assigned here a little reluctantly decide they really like the coast and they want to stay. But the tough part is finding housing for them. So,
Yeah, exactly.
Fort Bragg area is pretty high in rent right now, so it's hard to get them over here when they're paying $1,800 a month for an apartment in Ukiah, and then they come to Fort Bragg or the coast, and it's well over $2,000.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to settle
To make
over
that change, huh? Anybody have any questions for Lieutenant Lee or Deputy McNally? None? Thank you very much.
You're welcome. It's nice to see you all.
Good to see you.
Good to
Thanks
see
for
you.
having us.
Thank you.
Welcome, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations.
Appreciate you coming.
Thanks for coming out.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, be
Chris,
safe out there.
have an enjoyable dinner.
Thank you.
Good night, guys.
Be safe.
No public comment, looks like. Just check it out.
Okay,
Might as well just do it.
anybody online? Item number 6, public comment. Is there nobody in here? Nobody on there?
I don't see anything in chat, and I don't see anyone raising their hand.
Okay, we'll move on. I like the quick agenda.
Nice.
You know, they just-
It's a credit to your efficiency.
Don't get used to it.
or just a little bit of luck. Okay, item number 7, Coastal Development Permit 2026-0003, Caltrans. Councilmember Schbach,
Thank you, sir.
floor is yours.
I just want to begin, we're fortunate to have some staff from Caltrans District 1 joining us via Zoom. I see Laurel Osborne. Hi, Laurel. And it looks like Dominic is there. And there's a third person who I can't read the name.
Rose Dana, excuse me.
Thanks for joining us, you guys. We're going to do this fast because obviously you're giving us a chunk of your cocktail time and we really appreciate it. I'm just going to kick it off and then do a little bit of description and then ask if any of you guys want to help the council understand where the project's at and what's next. Is that okay with you? Good. Okay, great.
Do you want me to share the
Please
presentation?
do, yeah. So I have a PowerPoint show that summarizes the CDP application packet. Is it okay if I use this microphone?
This will be.
So with the indulgence of my Caltrans colleagues, I'm just going to run through this pretty quickly. I think Laurel, you've been to one of these before, so you know what our drill is here. I'm just going to do a quick rundown of the referral packet. This is the information that we get from the county that enables us to have a conversation, provide access to the public for this information, and then render some sort of commentary back on the proposed coastal development permit. So I'm going to do this pretty quickly. I think everyone here is familiar with the China Gulch Emergency Culvert Replacement Project. So this can go pretty quickly. The CDP that we got, the referral, essentially will formalize an emergency CDP that was issued by the county. And this, again, the point of the emergency CDP was to help Caltrans go as absolutely quickly as possible. This wasn't the only regulatory oversight, however. Caltrans has consulted with the federal agencies and state agencies that have jurisdiction over the natural resources that are affected by this project. And there's a list a little bit later on on the slideshow. So anyway, a lot of homework went into this to go as quickly as possible, and the project is pretty much complete. The culvert, as you guys know, conveys a significant amount of water of the China Gulch perennial water course. So that's a year-round stream. And of course, during the rainy season, it carries quite a volume of water. And that all reports out into the estuary. Historically, this is an anadromous fishery. However, when the culvert was installed in the mid-50s as part of the current Highway 1 alignment, the culvert that was installed, the old 5-foot wide corrugated metal pipe, wasn't at the correct elevation, essentially broke that linkage between the estuary and China Gulch. And due to state law, this emergency project was subject to state requirements to reconnect salmonid fisheries, particularly where there's a potential for high quality upstream habitat. And that's why that's an important element of this project and not a small element in consideration of the a number of engineering issues that came to bear. In addition to replacing that culvert and maintaining the embankment that holds Highway 1 up, Caltrans, in its consultation, also with Redwood Coast Land Conservancy, harnessed an opportunity to do a bunch of other work to restore vegetation on the site and also habitat work in the wet, in riparian and wetland circumstances, and also upland. We'll talk a little bit more about that subsequently. The reason I'm bringing this to you already cooked instead of having a kind of a pre-discussion as we usually do is that the county's asking for our comments by the 12th, which is kind of between our meetings. And we know that this project has quite a bit of steam behind it, and we want to keep it moving. So I'm begging your indulgence to keep it going. Next slide, please. So a little zoom in on the aerial. I think everyone's pretty familiar with it. The original culvert failed in February last year, causing a sinkhole at the intersection of Old State Highway and State Route 1. We all saw it. And it wasn't really about Caltrans dumping a bunch of asphalt in that hole. It was simply going to keep on failing. As I mentioned earlier, the original culvert broke a linkage between the spawning habitat of China Gulch and the rearing habitat of the estuary. So this replacement project reconnected that crucial habitat link. And as I also mentioned, there's extensive vegetation and other ecological and habitat improvements that were able to be accomplished as part of the project. Essentially, all the construction occurred on already disturbed land, whether it was the existing highway, whether it was the highway embankment, or even access roads on the Mill Bend property that were all part of the historic mill operations at that location. So no pristine land affected here. Next slide, please. So just a quick, this is right out of the design materials. Essentially, you can see there's the inlet with the jack and bore pit in the upper part of the screen, and on the lower part of this image, you can see the outlet. Essentially, the trapezoidal feature you see on the bottom part, that was the old exit, the old outlet concrete fixtures. That's all been removed. And in place, a new 8-foot polymer pipe has been installed, along with head walls and wing walls at both the entry and the exit. In addition to that crucial water conveyance infrastructure, you've got all kinds of recontouring to reestablish a more natural flow regime, to create a different elevation shift that is friendly to anadromy, but also a bunch of invasive plant removals, replacement with native species of all kinds, and essentially a whole pile of erosion control and site stabilization work that's already on the ground. At this point, construction's virtually complete. We'll hear from Caltrans staff if there's any other construction steps, but right now it's post-construction monitoring, and we'll talk a little bit more about what that means. Next slide, please.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yes, sir.
Head walls and wing walls, having trouble imagining exactly what that means.
Essentially, it's a structure that the opening of the pipe connects to, and it maintains the stability of that opening. You'll see, it's mostly retention. Yeah, but it also holds in place the piping, so it doesn't go drifting away.
Thank you.
You'll see pictures of it. Next slide, please. So this is an area, the next 4 slides are lifted out of the application, really focusing in on the revegetation work that's been accomplished. You're going to see in color here is the variety of native plantings that have been replaced on the site. So before this was done, a whole bunch of invasives were removed, along with recontouring the site and slope and stabilization work. So this is essentially the leave behind from a vegetation standpoint, running the gamut from trees and shrubs and grasses and forbs of various kinds. And so without getting into the list of it, these are all native species that are adapted to the site and adapted to the setting. So that will certainly accelerate reestablishment, but ultimately support a restoration of the ecological and natural resource functionality of the site. Next slide, please. So in addition to those specific plantings, Caltrans applied what's called hydroseed, and this is a material that has it's a combination of a tackifier, so it's a sticky substance that holds this disturbed soil in place while that vegetation reestablishes itself. But Caltrans uses a native plant seed mix and mixes it in with that tackifying agent. So essentially what will happen is, as time goes by, and it's already starting to happen, those seeds will germinate and establish a vegetation cover to hold that soil in place. Next slide, please. This is the exit area. So we had 2 slides that showed the inlet upstream on China Gulch. This is now downstream, right in the estuary. And so again, a combination of trees, shrubs, and grasses and forbs. One of the additions here, though, is you'll see these brown features. Working with Redwood Coast Land Conservancy, which has long planned an estuary restoration here at this location. The project has placed large woody debris in that wetland in order to create refuge for salmonids and other aquatic species that are going to be hanging out in this new wetland feature. And eventually, again, over time, this is the type of feature that is an important component to functional estuary habitat. The Redwood Coast Land Conservancy is in the process of planning other types of large woody placement in the estuary, where over time the hydrology of the estuary has removed a lot of this complexity, and therefore there isn't good cover for juvenile salmonids and other species that are trying to rear in that estuary. So essentially, this is a big leap forward for that estuary restoration work. Next slide, please.
Sorry, can I have one more question?
Of course.
Will this reformed wetland have some protection from the PPDQ?
6 PPDQ.
Yeah.
That's a good question to ask for staff, and so hang on to that. I'm just going to describe what's in the project right now. To the extent that these improvements are intended to handle stormwater flows and reconnect natural hydrology in and of themselves, they don't treat constituent pollutants in the stormwater. To the extent that the stormwater is slowed down in places like this, there is some additional potential to, I guess, ecologically manage stormwater constituents. However, that isn't an explicit part of this. But to your question, I have the same question, and you'll see how that manifests a little bit later. Next slide, please. Like you saw on the inlet side, Caltrans has also applied extensively a tackifier to hold that loose soil in place, and that includes a whole bunch of native grass and flowering species. In addition to this application, this spray application, you'll also see photographs in these 2 areas of a fabric covering called jute, and it's intended to further stabilize the surface in locations where there is more, where there's a lot of other things being planted down. Next slide, please. So you're going to see 2 montages. Sorry, I'll keep trying to make sense of them. Kind of earlier and later shots. So there are some photographs in the top 3 here in this image that were taken in mid-December. And what you see here is really, this is what the new installation looked like back then. So this green color, a lot of these hydroseed mixes are also, they have a color on them so that the people who are putting them down can gauge the thickness of the material, and you can see where they are and where it isn't. But you can also see the tree plantings indicated by poles and mounds. So that's how things looked in mid-December. Now, we've had a pile of rain. And so on February 27th, just a few days after our last big storm, about 4 to 5 inches came down within a couple days. That's a lot of water and a lot of energy. And so no surprise, these photos on the bottom are showing that work has taken a little bit of a beating. It's holding up pretty well for the amount of water that came down between mid-December and the end of February. But you can start to see some slumping, a little bit of failure in these two images on the left and right compared to the ones above it. That's a need for some work. Some repair work is now warranted, and we'll hear from staff about what their plan for that is. You see a little bit of gulling where there's been enough velocity for that surface material to move off. Most importantly here, this is the wing wall. This is the head wall and the wing wall to the right. And that's what that feature looks like. Essentially, it's a big retention that fixes in place the opening of the pipe. This one on the right, this is a pipe, or this is a drainage, essentially a drop inlet, carrying stormwater from the streetscape area. So that's something to keep in mind for a little bit later. But what's happening in the stream, if you look at this image right above it, you'll see a really linear, even brown feature here. That's water in the restored creek. So that creek had been regraded so that the thalweg, or the shape of the creek, was again more suitable for anadroming, to get those fish in and to help them use that habitat. With all the rain, you see a bunch of sediment has accumulated in that stream corridor. In fact, the flow has now become bifurcated with the accumulated material. This is a management problem. It has to be fixed so that this is the desired shape, the functional shape. When projects like this are new, there's a lot of material that's moved by the water, and essentially it becomes a maintenance problem. Next slide. On the outlet side, again, similar type of image. Here's the head wall here on the bottom right, existing condition with the exit, the culvert exit there on the right. I do want to mention one other consequence of having that much sedimentation is it moves into the pipe, and it has to be removed, or the pipe no longer functions as essentially a fish ladder. So the sequence here, the older images are on the left. You can see the fabric jute cover on both sides of the wetland, the both slopes. Really very nicely done. Here's large woody debris in the lower left corner. You can see the placement of that with respect to the water surface. The other four images are more recent, again, end of February. This is a case where things are really holding up well. You can see that lots of water came down, but that jute surface is intact, and the slope is a bit more intact than on the inlet side. And I think that the big difference, of course, is the slopes on the inlet side were a bit steeper and saw the water differently, essentially. But you can see here on the top right image, there's the large woody debris in the channel, or right off the channel in the wetland area. That will be underwater during certain periods of the year, and thus create habitat for juvenile salmonids that are hanging out in that area. There is a little bit of slump here on the bottom left. You can see next to the head wall, there's a little bit of slope movement. Again, this becomes a maintenance problem. Next slide, please. Actually, can you go back? One thing I want to mention, coordinating with RCLC, some of the leave behinds here, not just a revegetation, not just reworking the wetlands so that it re-achieves its natural functionality, its natural resource functionality, and its functionality as a salmonid habitat. RCLC plans also include recreational access. This site will be an extension eventually of the California Coastal Trail. So here's a shot of the access road right near the highway sign where Caltrans has placed large boulders in order to keep vehicles out. Makes sense. But there's plenty of room in that gap for pedestrians eventually to get in there and visit the site. So this is another really valuable improvement that came as a result of this culvert replacement project. Next slide, please. So considerations. This project had to happen. The collapse of that embankment was certainly not acceptable, and this culvert project avoids catastrophic failure there, maintaining our lifeline segment of this highway. Caltrans worked extensively with federal and state agencies, as well as the Redwood Coast Land Conservancy, the owner of adjacent properties, to deliver within the time frame of this project some really important ecological, habitat, and recreational improvements. And those investments will significantly leverage subsequent public investment in estuary habitat restoration, as well as extension of the California Coastal Trail and other resource values that, again, the taxpayers are going to largely be footing the bill for subsequently. So this is a big leap forward in many respects. Next slide, please. Couple concerns. So to Councilmember Mayor's previous question, what about 6 PPDQ? This is a known constituent. It is a known issue here, as well as virtually any other roadway where rubber tires roll on them. It has been a topic of conversation in the context of the Gualala Downtown Streetscape Enhancement Project. In fact, that project, which has been approved, includes a control measure, and you can see here in this image, a cross-hatched shape that shows in plan view the location of an intended stormwater retention swale, a bioswale, that will slow down the movement that is intended to slow the movement of stormwater conveyed from a significant area of parking lot in the Sunstrom Mall, in the post office, from the community center, and a portion of the highway to slow that runoff and essentially bioremediate it so that 6 PPDQ, heavy metals, other constituents, and stormwater pollution will be reduced in a way that hasn't happened in the past and is novel for the project. It's not clear to me in looking at the materials how the culvert replacement project and its very ambitious work upland and doing site restoration is going to accommodate that stormwater feature. For whatever reason, the feature is not reflected in the current project materials. That's an open question in my mind, and I think in others of you. There is some evidence of failure. It's, again, not a big surprise. This is a pretty ambitious project done very quickly, and I think, from my experience, done well, yet a lot of water's hit it. And so whatever the maintenance cycle is, it still looks like it might be a little bit behind because we've got some failure that's evident. And finally, the referral doesn't describe who and how this site's going to be managed forever, not just in the short term post-construction to deal with restoration of vegetation, but forever. There is very ambitious vegetation work that will need to have management in order to keep the invasives out, to make sure that the native plants that are been put in the ground, again at public expense, are going to survive, and if not, be replaced so that there is survival, and that the culvert will receive sufficient maintenance so that it continues to function for its anadromity purpose. Next slide, please. So as we have done in the past, we're not technical experts. Some of us have some background, but generally that's not our remit. So we defer to the county staff in evaluating the CDP to deal with regulatory, legal, and standard and BMP issues. With, our hats off to them. It's great that this CDP will formalize an emergency CDP to advance this project. There's been no argument about the necessity for this project. And on that basis, my recommendation to you is that we suggest that the county approve the CDP. Next slide. However, I want to offer that we ask the county to do a couple things. Number one, get a detailed maintenance, monitoring, and reporting plan for stormwater management and anadromity features to make sure that the immediate issues and then those that present in perpetuity are properly managed. That is not evident in the CDP package. I think it's okay for us, and we ought to, frankly, ask the county to pay attention to that issue. And second, given that we know the streetscape is coming down, that there's a very important stormwater management feature in the overlap area between the China Gulch work and the streetscape work, it'd be great if the county can ask Caltrans to show how these two projects are going to work together. Not just that China Gulch will accommodate that swale, but that they will effectively interoperate. That's the end of my presentation. Are there any questions?
Okay, let's see if any of the Caltrans staff have any further comments. Anyone
Thanks.
would
Sure.
like to weigh in on it, or?
Sure. Yeah. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, go ahead and identify yourself for our public record and then.
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Dominic Vitale. I'm Caltrans Environmental Branch Chief overseeing this emergency project. I thought, Spock, you did a great job presenting that, by the way. A really good overview. I just wanted to add a couple more comments. The wetland creation at the outlet, we could not have done without the help of RCLC. It was such a collaborative effort. They really drove the large woody debris installation and the conversations about what grades to make the wetland. And it was really quite an effort. We ended up ultimately planting about 1,000 wetland plants at the outlet. And most of those were harvested actually locally by RCLC. So it was quite an exciting project, quite a challenging project. The culvert was, 40 feet underground, 300 feet long. The only way we couldn't do a trench and pull it out, right? So we had to jack and bore, basically push a culvert at the perfect elevation, this 8-foot culvert in 10-foot sections all the way down, and everything matched up great. And yeah, the fish passage aspect of this culvert, we're expecting, there could be a significant amount of spawning pairs, salmonids making it upstream that could not have made it before. So we're thinking the potential recruitment for juveniles could be in the tens of thousands. One spawning pair, essentially, female has 3,000 eggs. About half of those are viable out of the egg. So, potentially 1,500 fry, maybe a little less of those, just depending on the system per spawning pair. You get 10 or 20 spawning pairs up into the reach, and the recruitment's exponential, which is, one of the amazing things about the salmonid life cycle, anyways. But I think we're really, this is going to be passable at just about all flows, which is pretty significant. The baffles in the culvert do require routine maintenance, which is why we need to maintain access roads at the inlet and outlet. I think that's an important part of this project. If there were questions about, well, why do we have to have an access road down there? And that's why, essentially, that the only way we could achieve fish passage at this location was through a hydraulic solution. And there are essentially oscillating baffles that kind of act like a fish ladder through the culvert. And so those do need to be regularly maintained in the long term. Regarding the 6 PPD question, I would say the only source of stormwater is on that inlet side where the bioswale will be installed. Apart from that bioswale, there is a significant amount of infiltration before the water from the highway does reach China Gulch, much more than your average culvert location or area where there would be a significant 6 PPD issue. Where they're seeing most of those challenges are in very urban environments where there is not any infiltration at all. In this case, we have a significant amount of infiltration before the water reaches China Gulch. And I'm hoping that the bioswale feature will only aid in that, adding even more infiltration. Let's see what else. The maintenance schedule and the overall maintaining of the site. The contractor will be on for a minimum of 2 more summers. They will be doing watering of the plants. They will be doing invasive species eradication around our plants. Just that's in at the inlet and outlet. We don't know what's going to sprout at the outlet randomly, and certainly at the inlet, it's going to be a battle of the ivy, I would imagine. And then we will likely, it'll be a 3 to 5 year maintenance cycle total for Caltrans. The at the outlet, certainly, there's going to be, it is anything past the head wall, that big concrete head wall that you guys saw is RCLC's property. They will certainly be able to access and monitor and do anything they want to do at the outlet. At the inlet, once the plants are established, there won't be any more efforts there. Certainly, if there is a community interest in doing invasive species eradication or something else, that's Caltrans is up for looking at those things. But essentially, after the 5 year monitoring, it will essentially be just maintaining the facility, if once the plants are established, and maintaining anadromy, making sure that everything is working appropriately. Laurel is the coordinator on the project, and Rose is the bio. They both just did an incredible job on this project. I guess the only other things, we had a significant amount of coordination with CDFW because they are the fish passage, implementing agency, so their engineers need to buy off on our plans, and that was achieved. Otherwise, we're still working with the Water Board and the Army Corps, and obviously this coastal effort here. So I don't know, Laurel or Rose, if I missed any kind of interesting or important details on the project.
All right, thank you. Any, Laurel or Rose, do you have anything to add?
I could add a little bit. I wanted to mention that we did converse with the people on the project team that are working on the larger project that includes that bioswale. And so we tried to line up the ditch to where the bioswale is going to be. So there was some coordination with that project that's coming. I was aware of it. And so I made sure that we kind of designed the facility in a way that would line up with that bioswale. So that definitely was in consideration. And I wanted to mention that. Other than that, we did see about 50 juvenile salmonids at the inlet, Laurel and I, and we were pretty excited to see so many fish up there. So it's definitely going to be well utilized, and I'm pretty excited to see what it produces.
All right, thank you. Anyone from the council have any questions? Robert?
Sure.
Jump in.
So the bioswale outlet takes the treated water down the riprap road, so to say, towards China Gulch?
There's a riprap road, and there's also a rock V ditch that's next to it, and the bioswale will feed into the rock line ditch, not onto the road.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dan?
Do any of you have at your fingertips what the historical record for saltwater intrusion both into the Gualala River and into China Gulch has been?
I don't. I know that the elevation at the top of the culvert would be too high for any sort of water infiltration. I don't know what the gradient, I can't remember what the gradient of the culvert is, but 300 feet long, maybe 4%. Anyways, it's really high. And so the saltwater intrusion probably could make it up like a quarter of the way up the culvert. After that, we would be talking about a significant like flood event or something that would happen. So I don't, I wouldn't anticipate it's possible for the saltwater to make it into, say, the inlet as far up as to the inlet of the culvert into China Gulch.
Thank you.
Okay. Henry?
Yeah, just a couple. So on the 6 PPDQ question, so it sounds like at least as on a relative basis, this is going to be a cleaner, safer environment for the salmonids than the estuary as a whole. Am I reading that correctly? That should be a pretty substantial difference, I would think.
I think, the original condition at the outlet was a very incised, narrow channel with some old pressure treated wood in it, and then it was covered in willows, and it probably from a fish refugia standpoint, if the Gualala is really, raging high and fish are trying to find refugia from the river, it was a very limited space. And I think um, what the wetland is hopefully creating is when we do get those high flows, that there's going to be this very large area for fish to, um, take refuge in, and the wetland ideally would be more infiltrating and in function as a wetland than so. Yes, absolutely would be more of a filter for those contaminants than what was previously there, I would say.
I'd like to pitch in some info. So I did get to snorkel the outlet before construction began, and it was right at the end of summer. And there is a huge temperature difference between the main stem of the Gualala and the cold water that's coming out of China Gulch. And I saw hundreds of fish, of salmonids and other fish, hiding out kind of in the mouth of the Gualala. So having this estuary, or having this opening that we've created at the bottom of China Gulch, is going to create a lot of cold water refugia also for salmonids, because there's probably about a 10 or 15 degree difference in the summertime between the two systems. China Gulch is almost entirely forested. The water is very cold. It comes out all year round. So having a little bit of extra space, I think, will be helpful in the summer months as well.
Yeah. Big difference.
Thank you. And then just a couple more. Will there be anybody tracking the salmonid populations and maybe the resulting fishery populations, or we're just kind of hoping to... Oh, go ahead.
Laurel, you might have a better answer, but I know nothing's planned officially. Certainly Caltrans staff are going to be going out there informally to monitor the site over the next 5 years. And so if we time that right with, the migration months, like right now, it'd be guaranteed where we'll be looking, but there won't be any official monitoring equipment in place or things like that.
No, but sometimes when CDFW knows that we've done this, they approved the design for it because it was listed as a fish passage barrier in the passage assessment database. And so now that it'll be a remediated barrier, CDFW will likely go out and do surveys upstream to check to make sure that we are having, that it's a successful fish passage remediation. So that, and also, of course, I will be out there informally looking for fish because that is my thing.
Awesome. I would maybe just request it, and I'll pass this along, try to find someone at CDFW to pass along to, but if anybody felt like updating us at some point, we always like good news, and we'll accept bad news if that's what it is. So thank you for that.
Yes.
Definitely.
Awesome. Thanks. And then the one other thing, I think I probably know the answer to this, but outside of the 3 to 5 year window, you said the maintenance will be facility maintenance. Does that include the slopes that we were looking at in Dave's excellent slideshow that we're seeing some sagging?
Yeah, the slopes will be maintained in perpetuity. It's Caltrans right of way, certainly at the inlet. And that'll probably be like I think like Spock said, a lot of this is uh it's a field exercise when you have all this virgin soil that was just disturbed, things um just need to be adjusted a lot. And then as far as the channel goes, we see when we do these fish passage restoration projects that all of a sudden you open it up more with a wider culvert or something, you see a lot of channel migration and adjustment, and hopefully it ends up all for the better. But yeah, anything the plants specifically will only be for the 3 to 5 years once they establish, but anything that has to do with um, maintenance of the slopes or Caltrans facilities that or the anything associated with the culvert, that'll all be in perpetuity.
Great, thanks. Yeah, and hopefully as the plants get established, the maintenance needs will reduce a lot in terms of the slope.
Right.
Yeah, unfortunately, I was just going to say, unfortunately, well,
Uh-oh, dog.
We can't hear the dog anyway. Oh, no, you're muted.
You were going to say, Laurel?
yeah, he's just making his bed over here. I don't know what he's doing. But with these emergency projects, sometimes the timing isn't necessarily ideal. So we would have had this buttoned up earlier, mid-October, but because we were doing a wetland creation and we had to extend the head wall at the outlet in order to accommodate this wetland, we unfortunately went a little bit later than we would have normally gone. And so we're kind of at a battle with the winter right now. And of course it was like right when we were finishing up the heaviest rains of the winter that we've had. So yes, those we'll make sure that stuff is buttoned up, and potentially more plants and or hydroseed or whatever jute netting we have to do to make sure the site is stabilized.
Great.
All right, thank you.
And I would just say thank you all for the amazing work. It's just an astonishing project to get done on short notice in a very short period of time. And just on a personal level, really appreciate all that y'all did and the thoughtfulness with which you approached it.
Thank you. We really appreciate it. Yeah, we'll pass that on to the rest of the team and RCLC too. So yeah, it's been a good project.
Robert?
I would also like to say that it was an excellent job. I enjoyed watching it the whole duration of it. I would gather that it'll last another 75 years like the original culvert maybe did, but we also witnessed 2 other Caltrans jobs recently along the highway north of us, and it's I guess just normal to see some of this slough off happening in the first couple of years, like Dave was alluding to when a project is fresh like this. But we got another big project to come in our downtown Gualala area, so I'm very happy with what Caltrans has done. Thank you.
All right.
Excuse me.
Dan?
I'm good.
I'm good.
I want to just mention to you guys, and I hope it's really clear that you're in a room with friends who really appreciate what you've done, what you and your colleagues at Caltrans have done here. This is an excellent project. It's been extremely well executed. We really appreciate the thoughtfulness, the intention, and the thoroughness and professionalism of you and your team and your contractor. So I guess we can clap, but you guys really did, really great job, great job.
Excuse me for just one moment. This is Rick Craddy calling. I'd like to address Caltrans right now, if I could, please.
Who's that?
Rick Craddy.
Hi, Caltrans. I'm the owner. My wife and I are the owners of the parcel, the China Gulch parcel that came right down to the works of improvement. And I've met with many Caltrans surveyors and engineers. I am still looking for an as-built on where the placement of the wall was, and where the easement is for Caltrans. And I'm still looking for that. I've been talking to a gentleman named of Moshtava. So if you can possibly get him moving on that, I'd really appreciate it.
Certainly, Rick. Yeah, we'll pass that on. Yeah, Mashaba is the RE, and we can remind him again that that's outstanding. And so I'm assuming this is at the inlet.
Correct, yes.
Okay. Yep, we'll get on that.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? And what, we need formal action? What?
Yes, this is an action for us. My recommendation, if you want to go to that slide, Henry, just for refreshing. While Henry's pulling that stuff up, as you guys do monitoring, if you want to share results with us, clearly we don't want to make you feel like you have to, but again, you can hear the excitement and the happiness with the outcome. And so if you feel comfortable with it, you can share information with me. You now have my contact information, and I promise that I'll convey that information to all of us here on the council. But I'll leave that to your discretion. You guys are busy enough probably without sending reports to local MACs.
We can do that for sure. If you don't hear from us though, please reach out because we do have so many projects, but yes, please, we will be happy.
Well, again, this is just, it's a really great success story. So we want to cheer you guys on. So with respect to recommendation, one, again, the previous slide shows part of the recommendation, which is that we acknowledge the jurisdiction of the county technical staff. We also note that this is an urgent project and we concur with the urgency with which it has been advanced. And that we recommend that the county approve the CDP in a timely way, subject to a couple conditions of approval. One, that the county asks for and obtains as part of that CDP, which I think it is within jurisdiction, a detailed maintenance monitoring reporting plan, so the county at least knows and can monitor for its responsibility immediate and perpetual maintenance as Caltrans staff have described. And that secondarily, that the county gain access to some more specific description in writing regarding the interoperation of the project that's being approved by the CDP and the upcoming stormwater bioswale that will be part of the downtown streetscape project. Those are the two recommendations.
Is that your motion?
That is my motion. Oh golly, you want me to move? Okay, I'll move.
I'm not saying that.
Don't.
I just wanted to.
Okay, all right, I moved.
I'll second that.
We have a second. We have a motion and a second on the table to approve CDP 2026-0003. Any further discussions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. Congratulations and thank you on a great project. We appreciate it.
Thanks for coming tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You guys.
Really appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having us.
Okay, on to our added item, number 7.2, coastal development permit modification, 2024-0010. We actually heard this first in 2022, and then we heard it in 2025. And I had the pleasure of being the GMAC member assigned to that project. One, because it's right near my neighborhood, so it made it easy to get to. Anyway, this is for the April agenda. So I would like to submit my name as one of the GMAC members to review this project. Would you like to? All right, and Nicole.
Great.
I was gonna suggest that, this way you'll get your feet wet and it's an
Yeah.
easy project.
Excellent, looking forward.
So, Nicole and I will bring this back to the April meeting for GMAC's review and action.
Thank you.
Okay, any old business? God, that's so nice that we don't have anything old. New business. Is Rick still online?
Yes, I am.
Okay, Rick. Item number 9, new business, Magdalena Homes Planning in Gualala.
Yes.
Take it away.
Here is the brief update. On the 12th, which is next week, Felipe, myself, Jill, are going to the county, and we have a pre-conference planning meeting with them. After that meeting, I'll have much more to share, but I can tell you that there's been some email correspondence with planning, and I don't have the gentleman's name. He's a senior planner, but he saw the project for Magdalena Homes and affordable housing. And as I recall the email, his words were, "This project has merit and we want to see it happen." There's 2 problems. There's water and there's the botanical study. So I can address the botanical study pretty quickly because the property that we own was logged out just a few years ago. And I'm assuming that in order to log it out, he probably did an extremely detailed environmental assessment of all areas.
Sorry, Rick, can I stop you for one moment? You're coming in pretty muffled. I don't know if there's a way you could move closer to your microphone.
Is that better?
Not a lot better. I mean, we can understand you, it's just a little hard.
Okay, I'm sorry, I don't know what to do.
Don't worry about it.
It's okay.
Don't worry about it, we're okay.
Okay, so, where was I?
You were talking about biological resources study?
Right, yeah, the parcel was logged out just a few years ago, so the botanical aspect of it, I'm gonna be able to get a hold of that very quickly. The water is another issue, obviously. I will tell you a quick update from a personal perspective. My wife and I have just had another drilling company come to the property, and we've spent tens of thousands of dollars, and we've yet again not gotten water. I'm still trying to right myself from that devastation of last week. That being said, I will be bringing this up to the county. This water moratorium issue has to be addressed, has to be spoken about, because I don't know what we're going to do as a town unless we can have some kind of movement on that issue. That's really all I have to share right now. I'll have a lot more to share next month after the meeting with Mendocino County Planning, which will happen on the 12th.
All right. Any questions from council members to Mr. Craddy?
Good luck, Rick.
All
Thank
right.
you, sir.
Thank you, Rick. Have a great evening.
Too, thank you.
Okay, item number 10, Bauer Park renovation. Lewis, Evans, and Mayor. Mayor?
Yeah, done yet? It's not done, but there is, so I think February, not a lot got done for sort of obvious reasons. But Doug, I got an update from Doug yesterday, and he said they're back to work again this week. They've been wrapping up the grading and concrete around the ball field, including the infield mix and backstop uprights.
Great.
They widened the ADA deck for the bathrooms and completed the adjacent walkways, and will be heading west next towards the new/existing playground area. As noted previously, the playground equipment has been ordered, and the attached photos and documents include the plan and renderings for the playground equipment. What attached photos and documents, you ask? Well, I'm glad you asked. I'll see, share a couple of these. Let's see. Oh, what? That's not. No, that's not picture. Right, sorry, one second. Get that moved over. So here is what the new playground area is supposed to look like. You can see a bunch of new features. This is the little kids over here, a couple of the basket swings here, a small climbing feature, another, a new play structure for them. I'll zoom in on a couple of these things in some of the other pictures, but here's sort of the big overview, and then you see there's a spinner feature, this kind of climbing wall, I don't even know what to call those exactly, but I can imagine the kids having a great time walking on these little walls.
They're
Existing
balance
climbing.
walls.
Oh, what was that?
It's called a balance wall.
Balance wall, thank you.
Yeah.
The existing play structure getting revamped. Another climbing feature over there. Let me pull up another one of these. Let's do this one. Here's another angle at it. You can see those walls again. This is kind of the like angled climbing thing that comes up to the existing structure. This will get repaired. I believe the intention is still for the slides to get replaced because they are in bad shape. Most of this stuff on this side is existing. But you can see there are lots of new features. There's these little toadstool jumpers. So I'm kind of imagining, I really like the connection of all of these things that I feel like is going to create a really fun play environment where I think this is a big improvement over what we have now, even if it doesn't include everything that we might conceivably have wanted. Having the playgrounds next to each other is an enormous improvement over the current situation where the little kids are on their own by the parking lot.
Henry, what does the blue space represent in the rendering versus the grass or the green space?
That is a good question. I don't think the surrounding area is I wouldn't read too much into the rendering, obviously
Right, I didn't think it would be grass,
Yeah,
but I assume but the blue could potentially be some sort of surface or something that they're.
That's a good question. I will follow up with Doug on that. One of the requests that we had made was that as they were designing this, they designed the space with future expansion in mind, that we knew we were budget constrained on the amount of equipment we could put in now.
But having infrastructure
this is
to that.
kind of better than I thought we were going to wind up with when when the whole bidding process fell through. But my guess is that is the area that is planned to have space for future expansion of new equipment that can be funded separately.
If you go to the previous image, the master plan also, in addition to getting both of the play structures away from the street into the back of the facility and next to each other, we included some seating, and in that circular zone between the two play areas is what I remember from the master plan that
Parent seating.
would receive some benches or even possibly picnic tables. So the idea is that there's lots of utility right in one place where it ought to be. So lots of eyes on the equipment, the ability to move quickly from a seated position into the equipment to help out a child, deal with the situation. So that's my guess is what's going on in the circular area, and I think that the other gray kind of a parallelogram is probably an expansion zone.
A way to connect the two spaces together.
I would hope it's a parental respite zone.
I don't know. I don't think there'll be a pull tap there, but there won't be. No, sorry.
Robert, you had a question?
At the moment, just dirt, right? What has it been?
It's like chips and stuff.
Wood chips and stuff.
Uneven chip.
Yeah, the fall zone under the existing feature is wood shavings, essentially wood chips. I don't know what the spec is for the fall zone, whether it's to use the same wood, but I think I think it is going to still be wood chip.
So it's fall for the kids to land on, right?
It meets spec for energy dissipation. It's also, as time has gone by, people in the business have also realized that the recycled rubber materials,
They wear out.
they wear out, they have a maintenance issue, they get hot, and they're not entirely clean. So that's one of the groovy things about the fiber material. Eventually it does wear out or it blows away and it has to be replaced, but
It's replenishable.
it can be replaced, it's relatively low cost, it's relatively clean.
May not give as much either.
These are not tall features. I mean, if you had something even substantially taller, then you might not get the energy absorption, but this is specifically engineered for these types of features, their height, the amount of kinetic energy that's involved in the size of the users.
I would suspect also that it will need regular maintenance because it will become compacted.
And tracked out. City of Folsom ran into that with the artificial recycled rubberized material at Lions Park in Folsom, and it compacted and it lost its resiliency, smelled bad, and had other detrimental features.
Wood chips are fine.
Yeah, wood
It's
chips
like-
I much
it's like
prefer.
real ground.
Mhm.
I feel like the rubber stuff teaches
Is-
kids that the ground isn't hard.
Yeah.
Cool.
No,
All
that's
right,
good.
any other?
This is just a ground level view from the little kids area that also looks, I don't know, just, it looks like
Yeah.
a big improvement.
It does.
Um,
Excellent. All right.
Whenever they're getting rid of those old slides, I am building a stone playground in my backyard, so maybe there's a way we can make that happen. But this is not a serious question, I'm just thinking out
Throwing it out there.
Throwing it out. I've asked the dump many times for old playground equipment, not lucky.
Not once been given any old playground equipment.
Well, it sounds like maybe,
criteria for that.
all right, so, yeah, so do you want me to, I mean, I can put you in touch with Doug Anderson over the
Yeah,
county?
we probably don't want to discuss this
Nope.
as part of
Yeah,
our
fair
meeting.
enough. Yeah, okay, yeah, good point, yeah, you could do that on your own.
Do that on my own.
Amazing.
Yeah, not a GMAC issue.
Yeah.
I was not offering any action of any kind.
Zach is in the motion.
Any other questions, comments?
There's no point at this point in time in jiggling anybody's elbow.
Nope, not yet.
No,
Not yet.
they're working when they can.
Yeah, and we appreciate it. It's moving in the right direction. Okay, item number 10.2, the Caltrans SR1 Gualala Downtown Streetscape Project.
Really no
Hang on.
change.
I am self-recusing myself first.
Thank you.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you, Robert. Okay. Your turn.
All right. Let me just note here. Okay, really no substantive update since the last meeting, which was only
Okay.
3 weeks ago. No change there. Let's see if I want to talk about. Nope. The next comments have to do with the following item, so nothing, no update.
Okay, any questions regarding the streetscape? Anybody online? Okay, we will close item 10.2, go on to item 10.3, local coastal program and town plan update.
Okay, thank you very
Councilmember
much.
Spot.
So just so you guys all know, GRI is going to do their next routine update for the LCP update. The webinar will be on the 19th. It'll be from 3 to 5 o'clock. So
Okay.
please attend. Also, the MCOG is continuing their work on the sea level rise roadway impact study. I hope you all had a chance to avail yourself the online survey. They're going to conduct a set of in-person community workshops. There will be one held at Point Arena City Hall on the 25th of March from 5:30 to 7 p.m. And everybody's invited to attend. They push notice out.
Okay.
So that's that.
Moving right along.
I'm sorry, the MCOG RTP meeting from yesterday got postponed.
Okay, yes, thanks for bringing that up. Yes, the MCOG posted notice that the meeting, their regularly scheduled meeting for the 2nd was canceled because they had no action items. In terms of the schedule for concluding the regional transportation plan, active transportation plan, MCOG's waiting on approval from the California State Department of Housing and Community Development on their regional housing needs assessment methodology. That hasn't been concluded. It is a precursor action to adopting the RTP-ATP. The hope is that it's rendered in time for the April MCOG board meeting, which would be the first Monday, and if not then, rolling into the first meeting in May. That's all I know.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for teeing that up.
Yeah.
Question. The GRI on the 19th, where is that supposed to be? Is that the Caspar?
It's a Zoom.
Oh, Zoom. Okay.
Yeah, it's a webinar.
I'll get that from Peter then.
Yep. Yeah, you can go to the the GRI website. I'll have a link there too.
Do we post that on our website as well?
I don't know if we have been in the past.
I don't know. Is that something we should post on our website?
We post very little on the website. I'm happy to do it. I'm also happy to post
Okay.
that kind of stuff through
Yeah.
Facebook and Blue Sky as well.
So
Let's
would
do
you
it.
like me to send you the notice I
That'd be
got
great.
from Peter?
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, I feel like, we have some people who pay attention to us on Facebook, many fewer who pay attention to the website, but if we could function as a community notice,
Yeah.
I think that's a benefit that we can provide.
I think a lot of the
Well,
MACs
yeah.
are moving to that direction
Yeah.
to really put a lot of the community information on their websites and attract visitors.
Well, then along that line, I will also send you the notice that I received from MCOG about the community workshop on the sea level rise study.
That'd be great.
All right.
Yeah, maybe I'll, well, actually, you know what? I mean, I'll delay this till 10.5. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. 10.4, economic development. Robert, do you have anything?
Other than just noticing on the Visit Mendocino website that they have Gualala in there now. California's secret coast, Gualala and beyond. Did you notice that?
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like they've done some work on the website that's really nice. So, I mean, I haven't looked at it extensively, but I guess they're spending some time on revamping things on the Visit Mendocino site. So,
That's great.
and maybe including us a little bit more down here. So that'd be great.
I'm hoping that they regenerate the idea of the Visit Mendocino sign that they were gonna put at the entrance to Gualala as part of their marketing program for all of Mendocino County, realizing that we're one of the key gateway entrances into the Mendocino County.
Makes total sense, all entry points, you know.
Okay, maybe we can reach out to them and see what the status of that project is, because it's been a while. Any questions regarding economic development? Hearing none, seeing none. Item 10.5, website, social media, telecommunications, community broadband access. The Mayor Hayward team.
So we, Zach joined me in setting up all of this today. So he's got a basis to do it should I be unable. And I'm gonna share out with him the relevant passwords for Zoom, for the website, for Blue Sky and Facebook. What was that?
Focusrite software.
Oh, yeah, that's right, and yeah, get that set up on Zach's computer, maybe
Can I just do that myself? Can I just hook up the Focusrite software again, or is that an account?
I don't think, yeah, I think you just need to download the Focusrite, yeah, and then feel free to let me know if you have any questions, but you might need to be in the presence of this at some point.
Okay.
So maybe you can just come a little early next time too.
Henry, is the Facebook a specific to like, is it made just
Yeah,
for? Oh, okay,
GMAC.
great. Well, I'll follow.
Yeah, sure, and if anybody has requests or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. I just didn't realize that it was specific to it, so that's awesome.
Yeah, and then thinking about trying to tell people about these sort of meetings and surveys and other stuff like that, just like non-GMAC governmental issues. Like, it does feel like that would be a good thing to have on the site. And I mean, so Don was, I think, had sort of stopped ongoing maintenance on the existing site because he was working on a new site, which I have not really volunteered to take on from him. So at least for the foreseeable future, I think we're still using the existing site. I think there was going to be a lot of work on the new site with respect to like ADA compatibility and the existing site is not amazing, but it's functional. So I think, but it's like a little decrepit in terms of even the navigation links don't really work anymore. The bylaws disappeared at some point. So I think maybe I'll do a little bit of tidying up of things and add a new navigation for non-GMAC governmental matters where we can tell people about surveys that are going, meetings that are happening, things like that. And my question for the council would be, do y'all want me to just do stuff and then show it to you? Or do you want me to try to like tee it up before publishing and then bring it to a meeting and have you all approve the changes?
Well, I trust you, but
I trust you too.
Okay, so maybe I'll just.
there's two trusts and.
I'll do stuff and
Can we get to
and then show it, and then if you don't like what I've done, then we can put more process in the future.
I think whatever stuff you do on your own common sense, if there's anything to amend, it would be very minimal, but it's any part of the council. So I think for efficiency's sake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't intend to meddle unnecessarily.
Well, we appreciate all that you're doing. One quick question on that. Is this something that we could post, might be too much bandwidth, the CDPs, if we're gonna have a CDP for an upcoming meeting, can we post that CDP online so people that live around the project might be able to look it up and see exactly what the project's all about?
No, for a variety of publication reasons. It's already hosted on a public website by the county. And what Henry has instituted, and I've tried to maintain that, is that the links that that the agendas that he is publishing now have live links to the CDP. So we could draw people's attention specifically to those links, and then they can follow them and hit the county's website. I guess the other thing to do would be to consider a CDP referral specific page.
I'm getting a lot of people in the community that are saying, hey, we heard about a CDP and we knew nothing about it. And if we had known the impact on our neighbor's property, then we would have attended or at least provided a written.
This is another case. This is another case where, as appropriate, you could essentially mirror the county's CDP site. It would be up to the user to sort through them because most of the CDP referrals are not in Gualala, which is good. But somebody could figure that out.
I mean, I think what I could do, so there is a navigation item on the site for coastal development permits. It just doesn't take you to anything. So I mean, I could, as they're coming in, I can have sort of sub items for
You could populate
the different months and then just link.
Okay.
Like not host the documents ourselves, but say,
here's a link to it.
And then, people can see at least what's coming down the pike for any particular meeting. There won't be a ton of notice, right? I mean,
That's the other problem.
as I'm putting the agenda. So there will be at, minimum 72 hours notice, but people will have to check in before the meeting, within the 3 days before the meeting if they want to be sure that it's up to date. But I'm happy to, I'm looking at those things anyway as I'm processing the agenda. It's easy enough for me to.
This is one of those content issues that over time people are going to get it, that they can go to the GMAC site and find it.
That's what we want to promote.
And that said, isn't there a requirement for neighbors to be notified of certain applications?
Yeah, but not at our stage.
However, that doesn't happen until the planning commission.
Or the coastal permit administrator.
So
at this stage, there's no public notice because it's still in an administrative step. The public notice requirement, click in 10 days before a an agendized action by a decision maker.
Okay.
So
That's
it's
short.
later.
So that way, if we can get the word out sooner so people can be aware of it, all the better.
Yeah, and I mean, I can just add, I have just like standard post text that I put in when I'm announcing a meeting, and I can add to that, like, also, you can find any CDPs we'll be processing here.
Great.
Not necessarily call them out, but say, like,
Yeah.
go here, you'll see them if you're interested.
And over time, people will become accustomed to that.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
thank
cool.
you. Any other questions for Henry or Zach? None? Going on to item 11.1. The action is that, I guess the summary version of this is we have $5,000 $5,000 that were budgeted annually.
Correct.
And part of that was $2,500 that was to pay for our secretarial services for all of the CDPs that we process, so they would reimburse us X amount of dollars. The county is now looking at taking that money back. One, because we don't have a secretary.
Contractor, yes.
And two, it brings us in line with the other MACs that only get $2,500 and we get $5,000. So anyway, that was a notice, and it's supposed to go on the April.
Yeah, Director Krogh indicated that this would be going to the Board of Supervisors on October 21st.
October?
I'm sorry, April 21st.
Okay.
Thank you, sorry.
Oh, no problem. I thought, God,
Lots of time.
let's spend the money now, right?
I was shocked that the Board of Supervisors was planning for October.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, that is just more of an information item, and as we've seen in last Board of Supervisor meetings, anything they can do to reduce their expenditures, and our $2,500 will help cover something.
We don't know what, but it'll cover something.
Well, fortunately, we made our significant capital outlay in terms of
That's true.
AV equipment prior to this cut.
Yeah.
So we have to just keep it alive.
There will be a continuing allocation.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
There will be a
I'm assuming
continuing.
It's about half.
Right, it's about half, and we're not spending it all. And what Director Krogh mentioned is that whatever we have not spent will be retained for GMAC, so it isn't a use it, lose it situation.
For rollover.
Correct.
Well, I guess I probably could have talked about this in telecoms, but it makes sense in treasurer as well. Which is, I'm realizing, I think in the last meeting, I'm not even sure I was piping to those speakers. I might have just been piping to the TV. And the speakers are the things that are pricey and that Don still owns. He's just letting us use them. But so I think for the next meeting, I'll set them up in case it doesn't work, but I'll try to explicitly just use the TV speakers.
Oh, okay.
And if that works, then it works, and then we can just give Don back the speakers and not worry about it.
Oh, that's great.
So that would limit our future
If we
output.
did have to invest in some speakers, just to have them be slightly better than TV for whatever reasons, like simple little desktop speakers would be perfectly fine. So it's very, very minimal, maybe a pancake version.
Don seemed intent on them being monitor speakers, but I didn't really press on why that would be necessary.
We have to play around with it and find out, but it shouldn't be big deal.
Okay, moving on to item number 12. Councilmember comments. Nicole, do you have anything that you'd like to share?
I don't have anything I'd like to share, but I do just have a question with regards to, reviewing a project. What does the process look like, and do we get together? Is there quorum issues? Like, can you explain?
That's why we only usually have 2 people assigned to the project, so we don't break the Brown Act.
Okay.
So before you leave, if I can get your number, and then what I'll do is contact you, and we'll meet out at the site and take a look at the CDP and what they're proposing.
So you'll be there with me for this process. Okay, great, because I just want to make sure that I'm learning appropriately, so thank you.
Yeah, and then you'll bring what y'all have learned to
Yeah.
us at the next meeting.
Right,
And then
we'll discuss it.
have a agendized motion.
And then they'll ask 20 million questions to us and have us
Yeah.
try and justify what we're doing.
Okay,
Does Nicole know how to get onto the county website for? you do?
yeah,
Planning
Yeah,
and building,
I went-
and look up the CDP and.
yeah, I went
into.
into that, and then I've
Okay.
also been on our site and stuff, yeah, it's not the greatest site, but,
But you get to know
Neither
where the
one.
location is, you get the maps. you get
yeah,
all that
yeah,
explanation,
it opens
that's
some
helpful.
stuff.
Used to be harder.
So, but this will be a good experience for me, so.
They have streamlined it.
Yeah, it used to be, I
Oh, it was
remember I
worse?
bounced off it so many times of like, I just can't,
Yeah.
I can't find it.
23 years ago, it was real hard.
I bet.
Oh my God,
Yeah, it was darker even when I started.
yeah.
But that gives you a few weeks to bone up on identifying all the endangered and threatened species that live around here and.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Warning, some of the CDBs are long.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I caught one that was like 475.
Yeah, don't try and print it.
yeah, no, okay.
Go to the summary page.
Yeah,
Dan, do you have anything?
I do not.
David?
I'm gonna miss the next meeting, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Forgot
that's-
about that, Passover.
Oh, that's right. So
I did notify you.
you guys will miss the April meeting.
So you get to be the secretary. I'll make the agenda for you.
Thank you.
Over every
I'll
month.
prepare the agenda and post it.
All right.
Yeah, wait, that's April what?
April
first-
1st,
No, Wednesday or Thursday?
Wednesday.
And you said that's Passover?
Yeah.
So that's the first day of Passover.
Yeah.
So Zachary, do you think you'll have, like, do you think you'll be able to make it, or will you be at what?
Will you miss that one, Zach?
I'll check with my wife.
Okay, yeah,
I
just shoot,
don't think so. but-
shoot me an email.
Yeah, we'll do.
Henry, do you have anything?
No.
Zach?
No.
Robert?
I'm just looking at the community center website and I see some new things, just thought I'd mention it to you guys. It's probably of local interest, so it's always interesting to see where they're at with their development stage. So that's all I want to mention, because I'm just looking at it.
Yeah, they got $1 million, right?
Well, maybe.
Oh, is that some more? Oh, no, wait, is that so, maybe I thought they got, I thought the ICO said that was a thing.
They have $1 million above their own dollars, right? And then there's something about.
No, there's $1 million from the federal grant,
Yeah.
but they have some criteria that they need to meet prior to getting that, and then part of it is reimbursable and part of it, I think, we can be floated ahead, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm out of that.
But they don't have the coastal seniors anymore involved.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of, I'm missing updates on what's going on there.
No, we don't.
We'll
No,
hear sooner or later.
No, we don't. Sorry, I that slipped. I didn't mean that.
Straight.
Hey, in October, you can talk about it again.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, couple items for me. One, I had a chance to talk to Julia Krog, who is the Director of Planning and Building. And staff has received the map for our new census designated place. So she was hoping to get it to me before this meeting. Unfortunately, I'm sure she's busy, and so staff. So I'm hoping to be able to present that to the council at the April meeting, but I will send that to our secretary, and he could send that out as part of the agenda packet, so everyone will have a preview of what our boundary lines will be. And but we got it. So at least it's in place. My other question is for, because my memory is forgetting. Is April our last meeting, and Wednesday, and then May we go to Thursday? Okay, so everybody mark that on your calendars that in May, we will go back to the first Thursday. And I will go ahead and double check with Chief Golly to make sure that we're on their calendar, and so that there's no hiccups. And last but not least, thank you to Zach and Henry for getting all this set up. Appreciate it.
Yes, thanks, guys.
Good job.
Sturdy and the whole thing.
And And then thanks Dave for forwarding that information about the Form 700.
Please, yeah, get it done.
Yes.
$10 a day is,
We had been
Gets
remiss in the
expensive.
past, but you reminded us, so that's good.
actually, they didn't send it on their own this time either. I
Did for many years.
rattled their chain on this, so anyway. We've got it, and like last year, you can do it electronically,
I
so,
had to.
which is kind of nice convenience.
It is. I will take it on myself to nudge Melissa, who I know in the past has had some questions about that stuff, so.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Yes, excellent. Okay, before I look for an adjournment, once again, Nicole, thank you for getting sworn in and welcome.
Thank you.
Glad to have you.
Glad I'm official.
Yeah.
Now, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I guess I'll make that.
All right, we have a motion by Councilmember Youngling. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Ellis.
Boy, start off with a bang, huh?
Wow, that's right. You know, get in on those controversial subjects
Yes.
or decisions. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor of adjourning to the April 1st meeting, signify by saying aye.
Bye.
Opposed? Excellent.
Nice job.
7:35. Great job, guys.